So I've been on a bit of a quest lately, not to destroy the One Ring, sadly, but to find high-quality solo RPGs. Yes, you heard that right, solo. One, because I have no friends, and two, because, well, people, you know? But today we're talking about the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game, which, yes, it's a real thing. And yes, it is as wild and as wonderful as it sounds. Now, I picked this game up at UKGE, and let me tell you, this game has not disappointed. It's like Tolkien met a deck of cards, shook hands, and then was like, yeah, let's make something magical. Now, this video is going to be short, it's going to be sweet, probably irritating, and straight to the point, kind of like a Hobbit with a sword, or, well, just me. And my hope is that you walk away thinking, wait, this is a cool YouTube channel, I'm going to subscribe. I'm joking. You're going to think, why do I not own this video already? So let's get into it. Grab your lembas bread and let's go. Right, the solo mode in this game was cooked up by Bryan Bornmueller. What a bloody cool name. And honestly, the solo board game community, if you're out there, so anybody out there, should probably send him something nice, like a fruit basket, or at least a virtual high five. That's for you, Bryan. The game, it didn't need a solo mode to be amazing, but it was already flexing pretty hard, and then Bryan was like, I'm going to give you one anyway. And not just to tack it on at the last minute kind of solo mode. This thing feels like it got VIP treatment. The solo mechanics, they're smooth, like stuff that's smooth, butter, they just work. Each of the 18 chapters, it has little tweaks and notes in case something just doesn't translate perfectly from multiplayer to solo, or like me, you're just have a chaotic brain. It's like he thought of everything, and the bottom line is Bryan didn't have to go this hard for us solo players, yet he did. Legend. Bryan, if you ever watch this, don't know why you would, but if you do, you're a legend. And he's already said that we can expect the Two Towers and the Return of the King. They are definitely coming. And let me tell you, those are going to be day one purchases for me. Yeah. Seriously, just Bryan, just here, if you're watching again, just take my money now. I'm all in, like Smeagol at Mount Doom. That's how committed I am. But what is it, right? Why am I harping on about this with no context? That's not helpful to you. So let's talk about it. The Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game is basically what happens when classic card games get hit by the Tolkien bug. It's a co-op adventure where you and your friends, if you have them, or like me, you just want to fly solo like Aragon pre-Fellowship, you work through 18 chapters that follow the story of the Fellowship of the Ring. Now, you can play the chapters in any order you like, but if you want the full Middle-earth extended editions movie marathon vibe, playing them in sequence is the right way to go. Now, in each chapter, players will take on different solo roles, like you've got Frodo, Sam, Gandalf, Pippin, even Farmer Maggot is in there, and each character, they have their own quirky win conditions, right? So Frodo's out there, he's collecting ring cards, like Pokemon, right? Whilst Pippin, he's just trying to avoid responsibility. He just kind of wants to take as few tricks as possible, and then the story progresses. The game throws in more characters, cool items, even bigger challenges. It's like the plot thickens, but with cards. It uses a 37 card deck, and each round one card goes mysteriously missing. So whoever gets dealt the One Ring, you become Frodo. Congratulations, you've got main character energy, and the rest of the players, they pick their roles based on their hand. The One Ring is the only trump card in the game, but the plot twist is you can't lead with it unless someone else breaks the suit first. It's dramatic and it's great. If you're playing with just two people, again, not an issue. Let's say you finally find someone to go on a date with and you want to whip this out. It throws in a dummy player. Think you bought a cardboard cutout of Legolas to a date and hope for the best. And this dummy player gets their own hand of cards. Now, some cards, they're face up, some are a mystery, and one of you controls them like the ultimate puppet master. And if you're wanting to play solo like me, then you get to juggle 4 hands of cards all by yourself. Basically full-on Gandalf mode. Now, each hand has a different character, and you only get to play from a couple of cards at a time. If you play a trick, deal out new cards, rinse and repeat. It's like trick-taking meets tactical card Tetris. So whether you're playing with a full party, you're soloing like a true RPG hero, it is a clever story-driven game that kind of turns the Fellowship of the Ring into this brainy card flipping quest. But what's the gameplay like if you are riding solo? I cannot comment on any of the other modes. Like I mentioned, 18-chapter campaign journey. It roughly follows the Fellowship of the Ring storyline, and each chapter you play as 4 characters. Now, just like Middle-earth keeps throwing in new heroes into the mix, each chapter introduces new characters to your squad. So you'll get like a pool of familiar faces and then fresh arrivals to choose from, each with their own little quest or win condition. The catch is you usually need all 4 characters to complete their objectives to pass the chapter and move forward in the story. No pressure, right? Here's how it plays. So in solo mode, you're basically the entire Fellowship yourself. Gandalf, eat your heart out. Now, each character starts with 4 cards, and you play a trick, which is the highest card in the lead suit wins. Then you deal 1 more card to each character and do it all over again. You never know exactly how the hands will shape up, which then turns the whole thing into this giant brain-tickling puzzle. Compare that to the standard 4-player game where everyone just gets all 9 cards up front like a classic trick-taking game. It's easy, but in solo, you're only seeing 4 cards at a time, and the rest of the hand unfolds 1 card at a time. That's where the tension and the fun it comes from. You're constantly trying to complete your character's goals without accidentally drawing yourself into a corner. Now, honestly, in solo mode, it feels kind of less like trick-taking, more like I mentioned, a clever puzzle, right? And it just happens to use trick-taking mechanics. That's how it feels, like Sudoku, but with elves. Now, if you want an example, if I give you a taste from one of the later chapters, think when things are getting a little bit more real, Frodo needs to win 4 or more ring cards. The dude is quite literally on a collecting spree. Sam has to win 1 very specific card from the Hill suit. He is super focused as usual, right? Celeborn, he needs 3 cards of the same rank, like a 6 from 3 different suits, because elves, they just love symmetry. Now, Galadriel, she's got the trickiest one. She must win neither the most nor the fewest tricks, and she can't be tied to either. No pressure. So now you've got this wild little logic puzzle in front of you. You want Celeborn to win the most, Frodo and Sam to just win their one and done kind of trick, and then Galadriel, she's got to float somewhere safely in the middle. It's tense, it's strategic, it's surprisingly satisfying when it all clicks into place, like a Rubik's Cube, but if it had hobbits. Most chapters in this game, they are quick and they're snappy. You could probably win or lose in about 10 or 15 minutes, which is awesome. And some of the decks, they sometimes throw you a curveball and your plan just crumbles completely. But it never feels rude. It's just hit the reset and try again. So I said most chapters for a reason, looking at you, chapter 14. Some of them are just absolute beasts. This one took me like an hour, maybe more, to complete. I was basically in like a mental battle, like Gandalf and the Balrog, but with cards. Now, that said, there are ways to outsmart bad draws. It's not just RNG doom. Frodo's almost always around, and one of his ring cards trumps everything. So if you play smart and you don't throw Frodo under the bus, even though you may be tempted, you usually have at least 1 emergency escape hatch. The game's tough, but never unfair. Like a good puzzle, it kind of wants you to win, only if you earn it. We look at progression and pacing really quickly. The best part is it kind of just keeps getting better. Each chapter, it adds some cool new mechanics, characters, even twists, and by the time you hit the final few chapters, it's firing on all cylinders, right? I just had a blast near the end. It's like the card game version of like the Battle of Helm's Deep. It's chaotic, it's tense, it's ridiculously satisfying when you pull it off. Also, the nostalgia factor. I said this kind of with other people that I've spoken to about it. It's worth repeating. The game, it felt like hanging out with old friends, finally. Frodo, Sam, Gandalf, they've all been part of my brain since the early 2000s, and now I get to hang out with them. Imaginary. But I get to hang out with them without needing to clear 3 hours as an emotional support blanket for a full movie rewatch. If you're a Lord of the Rings fan and a board gamer, this one is kind of a no-brainer. If you're looking at the replay value of it and the price, etc., because that's always comes into play, right? Talking about replayability, kind of once you finish this campaign, I'm not totally sure how many people would go back to play it again, especially now that we know Two Towers and Return of the King are definitely on their way. But even if you don't revisit it, the campaign alone, it gives you serious, what's the phrase, bang for your buck, right? It's like £24.49 on Amazon. You get a game that plays great as a solo mode, play it multiplayer with multiple people, Hopefully you get that date one day. You can play it with them too. If you've made it this far, congratulations, you completed. They're watching a video about a game that's based on a book that then became a movie that then inspired the game that you're watching a video about today. I think that makes sense. +1 for wisdom and +2 for patience. But seriously, the Fellowship of the Ring trick-taking game is an absolute gem. Whether you're a die-hard Tolkien fan, a solo board game gremlin like me, or just someone who enjoys clever card puzzles with a dash of fantasy flair, then this one is worth your attention. It's fast, it's smart, it's full of charm, and let's be real, any game where Galadriel has to carefully finesse her trick count is already halfway to being a masterpiece. Is it perfect? Not entirely. Some chapters are bloody hard work. Will I still be here, sleeves rolled up, coffee in hand, whispering one more try like Frodo, clutching the ring? Then you bet your second breakfast I will, with the Two Towers and the Return of the King on their way. I'm already emotionally and financially committed. Just tell me where to send my coins, Bryan. Take them all. So if you're like me, you're socially selective, you're fantasy obsessed, and always on the hunt for a great solo experience, then don't sleep on this one. It's the kind of game that feels like you're coming home to the Shire after work, but only if the Shire had a 37 card deck and an emotionally fraught trick-taking puzzle every 10 minutes. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'm only going to implore you one time to do all those things you need to do to please support my tiny channel, Q, concerning Hobbits, and we'll fade it to black.